Hi, this is Jaya. In this video, we shall see the summary of The Looting of India from an Era of Darkness by Shashi Tharoor. This book tells the horrors and atrocities committed by the British invaders and how they managed to crush India from within. This book was published in 2017. Another title for this book is Inglorious Empire: What the British Did to India. It is a non-fiction, that is, it is a history. It is not a story. It is telling what really happened in India. And for this book, he got the Sahitya Academy Award in 2019. And Shashi Tharoor is the author of many bestsellers. He is a diplomat and a politician. And he is a person who strives to preserve India's authority by expressing the details. He has been featured in multiple magazines worldwide, and as a speaker, he tries to tell the real story behind India's lack of functionality. Shashi is also a member of the parliament. In this book, he talks about British rule in India, which led to violence, plunder, and exploitation. Originally, India was agriculturally and industrially backward at that time. The British used this to suppress Indian sovereignty and export resources. For over 2 centuries, British exploitation led to famine and widespread poverty. Some British people claim India benefited from their rule, but Shashi Tharoor argues that India was robbed and gained nothing from British rule. India's suffering under British rule cannot be overlooked. In the 18th century, India was a major trading hub, rich in resources. India contributed 23% to global trade, making it highly valuable. At that time, the contribution of British was only 2.3%. And the British used superior military power to overthrow Indian rulers at that time. And before British rule, India was divided due to Mughal decline. The British East India Company exploited political instability and they gained control through bribery, deception and threats. The British weakened India's economy by restricting industries. Indian textiles were globally popular before British rule. India was forced to become an importer from Britain. British economic dominance grew at India's expense. The British aimed for a trade monopoly and controlled India's coastline. They destroyed Indian ships, collapsing the shipbuilding industry by the 1850s. Trade with neighboring nations was cut off. High British tariffs made exporting goods impossible. Britain took control of all industries, asserting complete dominance over India. Many Westerners believe Britain united India. India historically saw itself as one entity across Asia. British rule was a form of organized exploitation. Industrial progress under British rule was also a myth. British bureaucracy ignored Indian cultural systems. Many became landless peasants due to British policies. Farmers were displaced and forced into poverty. The British claimed to introduce a free press but controlled it. In 1799, the East India Company enacted laws to regulate information. Journalists criticizing the state were jailed and censored. Local newspapers faced heavy restrictions and financial burdens. The British saw the press as a threat to their rule. Only pro-British media was truly free to publish. Over 30 million Indians died due to British policies. The British refused famine aid to avoid setting a precedent. In 1943, the Bengal famine was worsened by British stockpiling for war. British authorities rejected American and Canadian famine relief. India had a rich history in mathematics, science and architecture. The British did not modernize Indian education but instead restricted it. Ancient universities like Nalanda and Vikramashala rivaled European institutions. Traditional teacher-student learning was widespread before British rule. Educated Indians were marginalized in Indian-British society. This is only a few points from his book. If you have anything more to add on to what I've said, please write it in the comment box. Like the video, share it with your friends, and if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe and support. Thank you.